In the annals of automotive history, we've seen tremendous rises and falls. However, what we are currently witnessing might just be the most cataclysmic downturn in the industry's storied journey. As analysts and experts scramble to make sense of the numbers, one thing is clear. Car prices are plummeting, and by some estimates, they could fall by as much as 60%. The question on everyone's lips is, how did we get here? To answer that, we need to wind the clock back to the boom years. As the 21st century progressed, car companies had been churning out vehicles with unprecedented speed. Legendary marques like Toyota, Ford, and Volkswagen were in a relentless race to capture emerging markets, especially in regions like Asia and Africa. The giants from Detroit to Wolfsburg had been banking on an insatiable global demand for vehicles. They imagined roads populated by their latest offerings, be it the swanky Ford Mustang or the sturdy Toyota Hilux. Fueling this feverish growth was the explosion of financing options. Remember when Tesla's Model 3 had thousands waiting in line, credit cards at the ready, hoping to get their hands on what was billed as the electric car for the masses? Or when Mercedes-Benz, with its assortment of luxurious E-Class and S-Class models, had practically made it a rite of passage for any rising executive to possess one. Easier access to credit meant more consumers could afford cars that were previously out of reach. It wasn't just the luxury segment either. The entire spectrum, from sedans like Honda's Accord to SUVs like the Nissan Rogue, benefited from this credit bonanza. But therein lay the rub. The growth was unsustainable. Production had surpassed genuine demand, and before long, dealerships were overflowing with unsold cars. Massive parking lots, once empty, began to resemble colorful metal forests, as row upon row of brand new vehicles awaited owners that might never come. As the scales tipped, the industry's giants began to falter. A great example was the French giant, Renault. Despite its diverse range of cars, from the sporty Megane to the everyday Captur, sales dwindled. The story wasn't different for the likes of Fiat Chrysler or Hyundai. Even the behemoth General Motors couldn't escape the downturn, with storied models like the Chevrolet Malibu facing drastic price cuts. The ripple effect was profound. A drop in car sales meant less demand for parts, leading to layoffs in ancillary industries. Towns built around car factories from Ohio to Osaka felt the squeeze. As livelihoods vanished, consumer confidence plummeted, creating a vicious cycle. Meanwhile, technological shifts exacerbated the crash. The rise of electric vehicles had started shaking the pillars of traditional automakers. Companies that had not made significant inroads into EVs found themselves in a tight spot. As battery technology became cheaper and more efficient, the writing was on the wall for gasoline-powered vehicles. Leading this electric revolution was Tesla, but they were not alone. New entrants like Lucid and Rivian were also making waves, further diluting the market share of legacy car makers. But perhaps the coup de grace was delivered by the rapid ascent of ride-sharing platforms and the very idea of car ownership coming under scrutiny. Why buy a car when you can hail a ride at a fraction of the cost? Uber, Lyft, and other regional counterparts, armed with billions in venture capital, were on a mission to make car ownership obsolete. In major cities from Berlin to Bangalore, their presence was ubiquitous. Environmental concerns also played a role. As urban areas became more congested, governments around the world tightened regulations on emissions and vehicle ownership. The car, once a symbol of freedom and status, was increasingly seen as a pollutant. Cities like London and Paris started introducing measures to reduce the number of cars on their streets, further dampening the desire to own one. As the storm raged on, there were few places to hide. Luxury car makers like Rolls-Royce and Bentley, which had previously been somewhat immune to market fluctuations due to their niche clientele, felt the pinch. If the rich were tightening their belts, what hope was there for mass-market brands? Now, as prices plummet, the ramifications are profound. Consumers stand to benefit in the short term with lucrative deals. However, the long-term outlook for the industry is less rosy. There will be consolidations, with weaker players either being acquired or going out of business. But like any crisis, there's also an opportunity for rebirth. The car industry will need to reimagine itself. It will have to cater to a world that's rapidly evolving, with different expectations from mobility. As we navigate the aftermath of the car market crash, there are several potential trajectories the industry could take. The adversity faced by car manufacturers and related sectors presents a chance to rebuild stronger, leaner, and more in tune with the future of transportation. One of the brightest glimmers of hope on the horizon is the continued development and adoption of sustainable technologies. Electrification, which had been steadily gaining traction, could become the mainstay faster than previously expected. A lowered price point, prompted by the crash, might push more consumers to make the leap to EVs. The environmental benefits of this shift could be monumental. A world dominated by electric vehicles would significantly reduce carbon emissions and the strain on our planet's finite resources. In tandem with electrification, autonomous driving technology presents another potential lifeline for the industry. Companies like Waymo, backed by Google's deep pockets and technological prowess, have been at the forefront of this transformation. As autonomous technology becomes more mainstream, the very fabric of car ownership might change. We might move towards a future where vehicles are not individually owned, but are instead part of a shared, automated fleet. This would not only alleviate traffic congestion, but also lead to smarter, more efficient urban infrastructures. Furthermore, the design and purpose of vehicles are bound to evolve. Instead of cars merely serving as modes of transportation, they might become extensions of our digital lives. Imagine a vehicle that's also a mobile office, entertainment hub, or even a wellness space. As our lives become more integrated with technology, the cars of the future might cater to a multitude of needs beyond just getting from point A to B. However, it's not all rosy. The immediate challenges post-crash are daunting. With decreased revenue streams, there will be less capital available for research and development, traditionally the lifeblood for innovation in the auto sector. Companies will need to be strategic and perhaps even collaborate in areas they'd previously considered proprietary. Joint ventures like the one between Ford and Google to develop AI-driven systems for vehicle connectivity and personalized consumer experiences might become more commonplace. Another significant challenge is the workforce. As mentioned earlier, towns and communities built around auto factories are reeling from the impact of unsold inventory and halted production lines. As manufacturers pivot to newer technologies, there will be an urgent need for reskilling and retraining these workers. Industry leaders, along with governments, will have a pivotal role in ensuring that the transition doesn't leave behind a generation of workers. On the consumer front, the crash might have long-term psychological effects. The perceived value of cars might change. If a brand new car's price can plummet by 60% due to market forces, will consumers be as willing to invest in a rapidly depreciating asset? This could push more people towards short-term leasing options or subscription-based models as offered by companies like Volvo and Cadillac, where consumers can switch cars as per their needs without the long-term commitment of ownership. The concept of mobility itself is undergoing a transformation. It's no longer just about cars or vehicles. It encompasses a broader scope of urban planning, infrastructure development, and multimodal transportation. Innovations in public transit systems, from hyperloops to magnetic levitation trains, are likely to diminish the car's primary role in daily commuting. The integration of various transportation modes, with cars being just one element in this matrix, will be essential in the cities of tomorrow. Additionally, there's a renewed interest in micro-mobility solutions, including electric scooters, bicycles, and other short-distance transit methods. As urban centers grapple with the dual challenges of pollution and congestion, these compact, eco-friendly options seem poised for significant growth. Companies that once exclusively focused on cars like GM and Ford are already venturing into this territory, sensing its potential. In essence, the car market crash isn't just an industry's downturn, it's a shift in global paradigms. It signifies changing consumer habits, technological advancements, environmental concerns, and evolving economic models. While it's undoubtedly a time of uncertainty for automakers worldwide, it also offers a unique opportunity to redefine what the future of transportation looks like. For those willing to adapt, innovate, and collaborate, the next chapter in automotive history might be its most exhilarating yet. Thank you for sticking with me all the way to the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure the notification bell is turned on so you don't miss a video.